Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel T-Spot. In this video, at the middle of Outlander Season 7, the show's opening titles have changed, offering new views of its favorite characters' futures. Things are heating up. In 1980, Brianna and Roger adjust to a new work-life balance, while Claire and Jamie fight the American Revolution in 1777. Other characters are steadily expanding the show's narrative. Singapore, Outlander's newest episode, kept William, the Hunters, young Ian, and Jemmy occupied. Recap their fates. Daughter resembles father, rediscovers her children playing in Lala Brock's graveyard at the start of this Outlander episode. Bree asks whether they located her father's tombstone after Jimmy says his sister wanted to talk to their granddad. They haven't, but she can't enter the graveyard because she's frightened her parents are dead. Roger later discovers her sobbing over the box of Claire and Jamie letters in his office. They open a fresh one and discover that Claire and Jamie were in the war in 1777, not returning to Scotland. Claire and Jamie are now supporting the revolution. Jamie is again a colonel in charge of a crew of troops at Fort Ticonderoga, while Claire gives medical care to those in need. Jamie informs his superiors that the fort is susceptible to a British naval attack. They disregard his concerns, saying the fort's challenging geography renders a British approach implausible. In the 1980s, Bree struggles to be heard. She is accurate about her male employees not liking her being their supervisor on her first day at Locker them. They can find her in a tunnel well meant to show her the dam. Bree knows the plant's layout, so she can escape, but she curses her coworkers. Bree finds a shimmering portal on the way out of the tunnels and fights to cross it while she hears a familiar buzzing in her brain. She found a new time-traveling location, expectations, and hopes. Young Ian has reached Fort Ticonderoga and is being requested to deliver a letter to someone in his former Mohawk community. Ian prefers they send someone else, but cannot avoid meeting his ex-wife. Before leaving, he asks Claire why he may not have children. He tells her that the Mohawks blamed a spirit incompatibility for his and Emily's baby's death. Ian fears he may never have children and refuses to put another woman through what he and Emily went through. Claire tells him that his first kid may have died for various causes and that he can still have others. Ian starts his journey after learning he can have children with another lady. Ian meets Emily at the Mohawk village and asks about her kid. He apologizes for not having children after learning she had a daughter. He hopes to see her son after seeing her doing well. The child's arrival explains Emily's hesitation. The red-headed child that approaches Ian is his son. The boy tells Ian he's heard of him and that his grandma thinks he's Ian Spirit's child, confirming his father. Emily asks Ian if he would name the kitty Ian James, and Ian is pleased to have a living son. William and the Hunters also head to Fort Ticonderoga. William must return to the British Army, but he travels with Denzel and Rachel, a guy who provides overnight refuge on the journey. Thus, they dine with Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, an eccentric couple who serve rats. Rachel can hardly eat it, and William wakes up in the middle of the night due to the awful supper. He discovers Mr. and Mrs. Johnson preparing to murder them all, which is good. William defends himself and murders Mr. Johnson. Mrs. Johnson admits that they had lured people into their home before to steal everything and leave no evidence. But William feels horrible even though he did what he had to. He imagined a battlefield would be his first kill. Discrimination everywhere. Roger struggles while Bree is at work. He discovers that Jemmy's instructors have been beating him for speaking Gaelic. Jemmy doesn't understand why speaking Gaelic is wrong, and Roger, furious at his son's treatment, may unleash his Mackenzie rage on the school. Bree informs her family about her workday later that day, downplaying what happened to avoid hurting Roger and the kids. After dinner, she tells her husband how horrible the hazing was and how furious she is since she is a woman. She confronts her employees the next day and threatens to terminate them if they do it again. Claire is treating patients and meeting Denzel Hunter, a new surgeon. Denzel and Claire quickly bond while helping Walter, a patient who needs an amputation. The lieutenant in command of the medical tent has always detested Claire since she is a woman, proving a point Rachel is at Ticonderoga because Denzel is there, and when she runs into young Ian, newly returning from the Mohawk tribe, they are clearly glad to see each other. Jamie also struggles to convince his superiors of the British threat. After learning from Claire about the fall of Singapore in World War II, he determines the only way to convince the Continental Army of the British plan of assault is to prove it is viable. He sends some of his soldiers to prove his argument, but his general becomes enraged and shuts down his warning. Jamie's prediction comes true. British forces attack the fort from the sea, forcing its evacuation. Walter, Claire's patient, cannot go until his leg heals. Claire says farewell and abandons him to the British troops. Mandy's cry interrupts Bree and Roger's evening as Claire, Jamie, and Co escape Ticonderoga. Roger goes outdoors to see who terrify her. He doesn't locate anyone, but he saw some trash about the property earlier and thinks someone is monitoring them. Bree returns to the Lalabreak graveyard after 2 exciting days. She chooses to communicate to Jamie's spirit and inform him about her family's problems. Lalabrux's lurker, now what? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you for watching. See you soon.